Okay, hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today's video is so spontaneous. I literally just got back from getting my first facial ever, which don't worry, I vlogged it all. Yeah, I just got home. I'm completely barefaced and I just wanted to sit down and chat about something that I literally get, I don't even know how many, like so many DMs on Instagram about binge eating ever since I shared kind of like my story with it all, which is amazing. I feel quite like honored that people feel that they can share their story with me, and I try and get back to as many people as I can, but sometimes it is a little bit hard. So I thought I would sit down today and film kind of like, not one last video, because I'm not saying I'll never make a video about this topic ever again, and I will try and eventually get back to everyone, but I thought this would be a really good way to just kind of like share what has helped me and what has got me to this point where I can officially say that I am over binge eating, and I really feel like I have overcome it now, which is something that doesn't really seem possible when you're in the thick of it. So yeah, I don't want this video to be super long, but knowing me, it probably will be, but I just do want to share what I've been doing over the past 3 to 4 months that has gotten me to the place where I can now say that I have overcome binge eating. Also, if you haven't seen my binge eating story, I'll link it up in the cards here, but I would suggest watching that first, because if you're just like watching this video, you'll probably be like, oh, like what? But I will link that up in the cards and in the description if you do want to check that out for a little bit of a backstory. If you have seen that video, you will know that I was really struggling with it. It was happening, it was really bad. It was happening a couple times a week and I would feel absolutely terrible. I would literally like cry and cry and cry because I felt like I couldn't control it, and it was just a terrible time. I do also have a video about how I stopped binge eating, which I link everywhere, but I feel like I've come a long way since that as well. So what I have found that has helped me truly overcome it is a few things, but the first thing I wanted to talk about is probably the most important, and it is just making sure you are eating enough food every single day. I find even now, with me being in a very good place with it, if I undereat, even not on purpose, but just don't eat enough the day before, I will feel the need to overeat the next day and feel like just unsatisfied after every meal. Like I just want more and more, and even if I'm full, like I just won't feel like satiated or satisfied. And honestly, I didn't even really know that I was under eating. A while back I tracked my calories for a little bit and worked out that I was under eating, and yeah, I was trying to lose weight or lose fat, but I didn't think that I was under eating, and it wasn't until I tracked and I was like, oh, is that like all that I'm eating? No wonder my body is giving me these cues to just eat and eat, because it's like it is in that like starvation mode and doesn't know when the next time it's going to get sufficient foods. Also, really do not be scared about eating enough food. You will not gain weight if you are eating the amount of food that you need. Yes, you might gain more weight or fat or something if you are eating way more than you need, but if you're eating what your body needs and keeping active and fit, you will not gain weight. And that is something that I have had to learn over time, because I was scared of eating heaps of food, not in like a binge or overeating way, but just eating enough food because I didn't want to put on weight, which would then just lead to me binging and feeling like I was never satiated or satisfied, and like I would finish my lunch and then I'd want a smoothie bowl and then I'd want some more nuts, and then I'd just be standing in the kitchen just eating and eating, and then like it would be hours sometimes later where I'd be like, what the hell was that? And it's only been in the past few months that I realized that it is always 100% after a day where I haven't eaten enough or like gone to bed a bit hungry. Something that also really helped me was listening to the podcast Brain Over Binge. The way that the girls talk about binge eating on that podcast is really good, and really just explains how it's an urge and you are in control of your urges, like your urges don't control you. I went back to the start of their podcast and literally listened to every single episode, and the amount I could relate to just everything they were saying, and I just found it like it was something that just really helped me kind of like make the connection and make the click in my mind. You are not your binges. Like your binges don't control you, you are in control. And if you do feel the urge, because that's what they are, like for me personally, you finish a meal or something and you get the urge to eat more and the urge to just eat and binge eat, really. One of my biggest tips as well is to talk to someone, but I do get a lot of girls messaging me as well saying like, I don't feel like I can talk to anyone, or the people I do talk to don't seem to really get it or don't seem to really see the severity in it. And I think that listening to that podcast kind of makes you feel like you've told someone and they're giving you advice and they're professionals. I would often, if I had a long drive, just play the podcast the entire time, just listen while I drive. Like, I just can't recommend that podcast enough. I found after years of, you know, like trying all these different diets and everything, that your mind is just always on food. Like, you finish breakfast and you're like, okay, like what's for morning tea or what's for lunch, and then you finish that meal and you're like, what's for dinner? You're just constantly thinking about food, and it's just not healthy because you can't be productive in anything else you're doing if you're always thinking about your next meal. So finding something that just makes you excited and makes you happy other than food, whether that's going out and meeting friends, or, you know, starting a project, or rearranging your house, doing a face mask, a hair mask, watching a movie. For me, it's YouTube and filming and editing videos. I literally love it so much. I get so passionate when I'm filming and I get so passionate when I'm editing that I'm not even thinking about food. I'm so just like passionate and happy with what I'm doing that food's not really entering my mind. And I often find that binge eating can sometimes start from just being bored as well. Like, sometimes it's emotional, definitely. Like, I would definitely say that I'm a bit of an emotional eater sometimes as well. Like, I'll be sad and I'm like, oh, I just want some food. Or like, I'll be happy and I'm like, oh my god, I just want some food. I have found in the past, like, if I'm frustrated, I'll just like go and reach for food, because I'm definitely a foodie. Like, food makes me happy. But I just think it's important to kind of disconnect your emotions with food. If you are feeling sad, train your mind to go for a walk, or train your mind to listen to some really good music, or, you know, try and like disconnect emotions with food, because food is literally just fuel. Like, yes, it tastes good and yes, it's enjoyable, but it's there to fuel your body. A mindset that has also really helped me is don't think about your binges in the way that like, oh, I don't want to put on weight. Start thinking about what it's doing to your body and what it's doing to your insides. And this might sound super dramatic, but like after really bad binges, I would sit and just like hold my stomach and I would just be like, I'm so sorry. I think really making the connection where you're like, you're doing that to your body. Your body is literally just trying to make you survive and make you thrive, and you're doing that to it. And you know, I think a lot of people have the kind of mindset of like, oh, like, I'll just eat whatever, or just like, oh, stuff it, I'm just gonna binge eat. Getting back to just not eating enough, your body's probably just saying like, what are you doing to me? Like, you're not eating and restricting, so then I want to eat so much food, and then you're just stuffing all of this food in and it's just making you uncomfortable. My stomach would literally be like a balloon. It would be like I'm pregnant, and that is just not healthy whatsoever. You know, there's only so much you can do to your body before it starts fighting back. So I just think that's also a good way to think about it, and just thinking about your body and doing the best for it, opposed to thinking of more like physical appearances and vanity and stuff like that. Also, the cycle of just restricting and then binge eating is never ever going to help you maintain a good healthy weight. As I said before, your body will like go into the starvation mode, so it'll want to hold fat and then it'll be confused. I found for me, when I was in a really bad stage, like I was just kind of like that skinny fat that a lot of people say, and I wasn't like big or massive, but I just had like all of this fat on me and it was just so unhealthy. And I was working out, but I just wasn't ever seeing any results in my stomach or anywhere, because my body was just retaining all this fat. As you can see in this photo specifically, like I was just retaining quite a lot of fat and my body was just not happy with what I was doing. Compared to now, where I'm in a really good state. I eat breakfast, lunch, dinner every single day, snacks if I want to as well. My body is no longer retaining fat and I just feel overall very healthy. Also, I was looking at an acne face chart the other day, and all of your, I think it was all of your right cheek, if that's breaking out, it's often from binge eating. So that was a massive like click in my mind as well, because my right cheek was always really congested and pimple filled. So that was really eye-opening to see as well. I have touched on this before as well, and I know it is different for everyone, but for me personally, stuff like intermittent fasting or just like skipping breakfast did not help me whatsoever. Like sometimes now I will still have breakfast even though I'm not that hungry, because I know that in doing that I will not binge later on. So I guess it really is just about getting to know and learning your body and how it reacts to things. And yeah, that is going to be different for everyone, but I thought I would just share I don't even know how many tips I guess that was. And yeah, it might be cheesy again, but if you are really struggling with it, I know how bad that can be. I know how hopeless and helpless you can feel, but I just wanted to post this video to hopefully help people see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And to all the people that I haven't yet gotten back to on Instagram, I will try, but I hope this helped as well. I also really just wanted to film this video to kind of close that chapter of my life, because it was a couple of years for me that I really struggled with it, and I do feel like that part of my life is over. And again, as I said before, I'm not saying that I'll never film a video about the topic again, but yeah, I kind of just wanted to film this. This is probably like the last full-on sit-down video I'll do about it. I guess now that I'm in a really good space with it all, I just kind of, yeah, wanted to leave it behind. So yeah, I think that's where I'll end it today. I didn't want to make this video super long. As I said, I truly know how hard it can be when you're in a really bad mindset with it, but yeah, I hope this helped even in the slightest. But yeah, my camera is also flashing that the battery is about to die, so I'm going to go now. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video.